My name is George Hunt. I was born on the 10th of July, 1891, in Moss Vale, New South Wales. This is our first family photo. I am the little boy on the left. The other children are my older brother, Walter, and my younger sister, Elsie. My father Herbert Hunt was born in Buckinghamshire. He emigrated to New South Wales in 1886 as a gardener for Lord Carrington, the Governor of New South Wales, at his summer residence in Sutton Forest. These are his parents, Henry and Emily Hunt. My mother Mary Fordham met Herbert in London at the local Methodist church. She followed him to Sydney, late in 1887. They married at the Methodist parsonage in Surrey Hills on her arrival. Mary's parents Isaac and Thurza Fordham and 9 of her siblings also emigrated to New South Wales in 1890 and settled in Moss Vale. Thurza and Isaac are in the centre of this picture with Herbert and Mary. I went to school in Moss Vale and worked around there until 1906 when the whole family moved to Coraki. We lived at Box Ridge and went onto a dairy farm. This is our first family photo in Box Ridge. The picture includes my younger siblings, Percy, Gladys, Mabel, Bert and Arthur. We moved to another dairy farm at Tuckarimba on the north arm of the Richmond River in 1912. All the family worked on the farm. The Hunt family have lived in Tuckarimba ever since. My son, Ray, still lives in Baxter's Lane, on the land. I got my first camera when I was 18. It was a half-plate Thornton Picard. I had a tripod and a black cloth, lined with scarlet which went over the camera and my head. So began my lifetime interest in photography. I took thousands of photos, family groups, animals, birds, farm activities, community events, ships and planes. I took pride in winning prizes with my photos. The studies of my younger brother, Arthur, eating a melon and holding a frog, were my first published photos in 1911 in the Town and Country Journal. The Sydney Mail published some of my wildlife photos and at one stage offered me a job. My father said I had to stay home and milk the cows, so my long-term occupation was as a dairy farmer. The Australasian Photo Review was a journal published in Sydney by Kodak. I often sent in my photos. I received reviews of them and sometimes won first prize, worth a guinea, in their competitions. My small brothers Bert and Arthur were my first subjects. This photo of a black opossum won me first prize in the Australasian Photo Review. Another winning photo was this carpet snake. I enjoyed the artistic challenge of photography. The landscape and the river provided settings. Arthur and Bert are in this photo. The neighbouring young women and family members were willing to be photographed. My future wife Sis Cameron is bottom right in this photo and my sisters Gladys and Elsie are at the back on the left. My mother's youngest brother Fred Fordham and my sisters Elsie and Gladys are in this photo on the river in front of our home. I am perhaps best known for my photographs of the boats and ships that plied the river between Lismore and Coraki and the seagoing ships that delivered people and goods from Sydney and Brisbane. We had a small wharf and boats would call by most days. My parents are farewelling visitors in this photo. This is a photo of my brother Percy leaving home to serve in World War I from our wharf on the Sarah L. Hickson. After the war, Percy and I took on the dairy farm next door. At first we lived at home, but later I built a house and then farmed in Baxter's Lane, Tuckarimba, for the rest of my life. In 1926, I married Sis Cameron and had 3 children, Jim, Nita and Ray. My main occupation was as a dairy farmer, milking cows, day and night and raising pigs. In the 1930s the Lismore paper, the Northern Star, ran a weekly snapshot competition. First prize was awarded £1 and second place, 5 shillings. I had over 50 photos published in this competition. In my spare time, I grew gladdies and I won many horticultural prizes and trophies. This is Sis with one of the many bunches of flowers we gave away. We often had visitors to see the flowers. I was active in the Horticultural Society and exhibited my flowers at shows and exhibitions. In later years I also grew prize-winning orchids. I took lots of family photos. This is a picture of my grandfather Isaac Fordham. Each occasion in the family was celebrated with a photo. This is our family welcoming my brother, Percy's new wife, Christina, second left, whom he met in London, while serving overseas in World War I. And this is my older brother Walter, after he returned from World War I as a paraplegic. He died from his wounds in 1927. I was active in community activities. I was involved in the Parents and Citizens Association in Tuckarimba for over 40 years. I was president for most of this time. This is Empire Day at Tuckarimba School. I took my camera with me to community events. And I was the photographer at social occasions in the district. This is a photo of Regatta Day in Woodburn. I loved planes and would travel distances to photograph them, even though I never flew in one. Before my death in 1974, my sister Gladys organized my photos and placed them in albums. These albums still exist today. In 1983, my daughter, Nita, published a series of my photos in a book for the Mid-Richmond Historical Society. It records life on and around the Richmond and Wilson rivers. The Bangalore Koala Organization uses my image on tea towels and t-shirts to raise money for the preservation of koalas in the district. In 2021, the Evans Head Living Museum gained a grant to display my shipping photos, and Jackie Kennedy firstly carefully restored my old photo albums. Jackie also digitized and optimized the photos, researched the boats, and published a book of my maritime photos called The Hunt Collection. She designed posters, calendars, and cards using my photos. In 2022, my younger brother Bert's daughter, Jenny, wrote a family history to accompany my photos. Tales of Tuckarimba draws on previously recorded family stories and highlights the extent of my photography. I died in 1974, but my work lives on. Enjoy.